have to be so serious.
Yes, it's saying 10 years to like
Blow up overnight.
yeah. Which is so true. I think if you've got really good true friends around you, then they will always be there for you, even in the down days.
Do you do it any differently?
Like the before or the after?
Eliza Rose.
Hello, darling.
Hello. You're actually the first in-person podcast I've ever done.
Oh my God, I'm honoured.
I know, right? I've done like over 350.
Wow.
I've been doing this for like 5 years.
That's amazing. Well, number one, what can I say? Here I am.
Number one that had a number one.
Exactly.
Right?
That's how I roll, baby.
I want to go back. Flashback Records.
Yes.
Tell me about it.
It was kind of like where I cut my teeth, if that's kind of the saying. It was a complete fluke why I ended up working there. I was meant to be going to like select modelling or something like that. Just, back in the day, it was work experience.
Yeah.
And so going through, obviously, I'm like, oh my God, select modelling, chose to work there. And then like 3 days before I was meant to start, they were like, sorry, we've double booked. You can't come in. So I was left with the Drebs. And the Drebs were nursery or record shop. And back in the day, it's cool to work in record shops now.
Yeah.
It wasn't when I was in school.
Yeah.
And it was so far away from the world that I knew. I was like a little rude girl with my slicked hair, thinking I was bad. And then for me, record shop was like old white men, and
it was just so geeky.
Geeky,
like,
and just like something I didn't have any affiliation to. Like my parents were not, is that clinking?
Yeah, it's fine, don't worry.
My parents were like not big record collectors or anything like that. So, but it was music, and I was really like started to really get into my singing around the age of 15. So I thought, I ain't changing nappies. Yeah. Let me go work in the record shop. And it's really shaped my life. I got paid £10 a day. I thought I was rich. I was like, I've made it. And none of my other friends got paid. And £10 a day when you're 15 is like a lot of money.
Pretty good.
Right?
It's pretty good.
And I just loved it. And I just was able to come across so much music that I never would have discovered, and like soul, all things that really shaped my sound across, even to getting into reggae. I'm really getting in touch with my more Jamaican heritage through music. So
is it like a less electronic record shop?
Yeah, I mean, it was across the spectrum.
Okay, yeah.
It had a lot, but it was soul, reggae, disco, funk, rock, and there was electronic, but it wasn't electronic. Just like that wasn't the main thing at all.
Yeah. Can you remember your first record that you sold there?
Sold. God, I was on the old CDs for about 3 years.
Really?
They didn't let me downstairs for a hot minute. Honestly, I was on the CD, so it's probably like a really crap DVD was probably the first thing I sold, to be honest with you.
Oh, so it sold like everything. It wasn't.
Yeah,
just
it was like DVDs and CDs upstairs.
Yeah.
This is showing my age here. But and then all the vinyl was downstairs. And then obviously after a while CDs kind of just went, and then they kind of just did vinyl upstairs and downstairs. But I was there for a few years before I even really worked on the records. And I don't know really why. I just didn't have such an affiliation with them. But I was 15. But I think it was when I was probably about 17, 18 that I really started getting into them properly. Yeah.
And was there like a specific record that kind of was like, this is getting me into it?
I really became obsessed with Amy Winehouse. And then
she was
just incredible.
Best.
And then what was really cool is I was like, okay, for me it wasn't, because I was listening to like 90s, noughties R&B, and this for me, Amy Winehouse was quite a different sound at the time.
Quite jazzy.
Yeah, jazzy, 60s soul, but it wasn't something that I had a lot of experience listening to. And so after I'd like probably listened to Amy Winehouse 500 million times, I kind of was interested in who inspired this sound. And luckily for me, I had all of that at my fingertips. And I had everybody who worked there was really like a specialist in their genre. So there'd be a jazz and soul specialist, and they'd be like, oh, you like Amy, listen to Billie Holiday, listen to Esther Phillips, listen to Nina Simone, and so on and so forth. And so I was suddenly, so probably like, I think Billie Holiday, seeing this kind of mixed race or light-skinned black woman, really that kind of got me into discovering and selecting and finding hidden kind of gems.
Did DJ or singing come first?
Singing came first. I wanted to sing originally, and then I kind of fell out of love with it, and I stopped singing for a while, but I always wanted to still.
Why do you fall out of love with it?
I mean, it's, again, show my age.
You're a year younger than me.
Okay,
so it's good. We're good.
But like, I think it was kind of like, it was a different era. So like the over 25s category in X Factor was like Your Old Woman.
Mhm.
Amy Winehouse had written like Frank by the age of like 19.
Yeah.
And there was and it was just a kind of different time with music, I think. And I just felt like, oh, by the age of 21, I felt too old. And I haven't achieved anything. And I just wasn't enjoying it. And I always knew that I wasn't going to write anything good if I wasn't enjoying it.
Yeah.
But I always wanted to work in music. And I'd started this little record collection and I wanted to buy more records. And so I started DJing just in pubs and little, just pubs really around East London and South London. £100 for like 7 hours, honestly, and then get a cab home if you're from South London as well, in South London back to East. And so, but I always knew singing would come back, but I just knew I had to be in a place that I enjoyed it. Otherwise, you're not going to.
Did you want to do the pop thing?
I never expected it to take a turn like this. I mean, I just did it because I enjoyed it and I loved it. And it was just another way for me to be creative. But I kind of felt like something would happen or I wouldn't have carried on pursuing it.
Yeah.
But I didn't think it was going to be number one.
Yeah. Makes sense. It's such a weird journey that we take in music.
Mm-hmm.
It's like we get introduced to it some way, then we start doing it. Then it's like the hobby. There's like a glimmer of the light at the end of the tunnel where the hobby is like, oh shit, this could actually happen.
Yeah.
Like, what was that like thing for you where you were like, this hobby, this thing that I'm starting to love, like was the beginning of like, let's go.
I don't really know. I guess kind of getting like more club bookings, and like right at the beginning when you get like booked to go abroad, you're like, oh my god, I'm playing at like Soundwave, or I'm playing at Love International, and like these places that you would go to.
How is Love International? I've never.
It's fabulous. It's really cute. It's a really little community vibe. I would highly suggest. I absolutely love that site. It's gorgeous. I've been going there for years, back when it was Soundwave, and that site is just wicked. Defected do a wicked party there as well. I would highly recommend going to Love International. Just that site. If you're never into that site, it's so fun.
Which one is it?
Tisno.
I have. Yeah, I played the Defected one.
I
didn't know that's where they did Love International.
Yeah. That's what they do. I think they might have. Yeah. That's where they did doing it.
Sorry, going back to the original question.
Mm-hmm.
What was that first time when you were like, this could be a job?
I mean, it depends really, because I have two kind of like notions of it. It's like life before B.O.T.A and life after B.O.T.A. After B.O.T.A felt like a sustainable career. Before, I was still working a full-time job and I was just really doing it for the passion. And then there was COVID, so it's quite, and then it kind of happened over COVID. So for me, there was quite a kind of strange dip in where it became real, because it was kind of just post-COVID. So it was kind of a strange, but I guess just earning money off it really. And that was a time when I thought, and I always kind of felt like, DJing, if you make it, it's a good career, and I guess, I think just playing abroad really and getting booked regularly, suddenly you're like, okay, this is happening. This could be something. This could be viable, if you do it correctly.
It's such a strange, like, situation that we're in all aspects of like art, where you can be working in the game for so long, and then you become like the hottest new thing since sliced bread overnight, and everyone's like, oh, this brand new act, and it's like,
it's hilarious.
I've been doing this for 20 years.
No, literally. I mean, I've been DJing for years before kind of anything majorly took off, and I was very much seen as like a London DJ, and I still think I am, but I've obviously now played across the world in Korea and US, and I just like, it does take a strange turn.
Yeah, because I like literally everybody on this podcast has had some level of success. Like even like nowhere near where you got to with Baddest Of Them All. Like there's a period where more people find out who they are, and they're like, oh, who's this new kid?
Yeah.
And it's like, no, I've been here for the last ages. Like,
100%.
It's really interesting.
10 years, what is it? They're saying 10 years to like
blow up overnight.
Yeah. Which is so true.
Would you do it any differently?
I think like the before or the after.
The before. I'm talking before.
Before.
Like,
okay.
Like would you have wanted B.O.T.A 10 years before?
Oh, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Absolutely not. I would have been off the rails.
Mental.
I would have been off the rails, and
Yeah.
I was already off the rails, and I was a big woman. And so, like, but like, I think if that happened to me when I was like 19, 20, I don't think it would have been good for my health.
Yeah.
Like, and I was, when you're that age, you're quite insecure as well. You don't really know who you are, and I think like it would have just been too overwhelming for me. I think I would have hated it, and I just wouldn't have. I think it just would have been too much. So I'm glad that it happened later on. But yeah, I don't know. I just think it would have just been too overwhelming and too much kind of smoke up your ass and stuff like that. Like,
Yeah.
you can't really be having that when you're 21. And as I said, I was a bit of a nervous wreck at 21. Like, not nervous wreck, but still finding my feet. And I just think I just wouldn't have. Even when it happened, I was a little bit like, whoa. So yeah, I would not. I don't think I would have done well. I would not have done well if that happened at 19.
Yeah, I think that's the thing, isn't it? It's like the whole journey to get to where you got to, or where we all get to, right? Like eventually, wherever the like that part of the journey is, it's like you have to do all the shit beforehand. Like if you don't get through the shit, you're like we've all seen child stars, right?
Yeah.
We've all seen what happens.
Yeah.
And nothing ends well.
Exactly.
There's not many out there.
Exactly.
Like Amy, for a classic example.
Right? And also, like, you want to have a bit of a life in your 20s, really. Like, touring heavily and doing all of that, you lose a lot of even seeing my friends. I mean, I got into DJing, because I love music, but also I'm an absolute raver to the core, and I love to go out and party, and then like be out with my friends, and then suddenly that gets taken away from you, and it becomes quite a lonely career in many, many ways. And I think that was happening. I was thinking about what wicked time I've had in my 20s, and all of my friends, some of my friends are from 15, but that bond happened over many years of raving and going out and hanging out. And if I was off on the road, those relationships probably would have broken down, and I might not have the amazing support system that I have now.
Yeah, I want to talk about that, because touring can royally it changes, right? Changes your life
sometimes. Yeah.
Like, how do you manage that when it comes to your everyday life as well?
I've had to take a massive step back the last year or two from touring, because post B.O.T.A, it was just relentless, and I wasn't enjoying my life, and I was really, really actually struggling at times. And I think there were things in place, money and other factors, that led me to not have a very good touring schedule, benefiting other people and not necessarily me. And I just also, there's a sense of guilt saying no to things, and I didn't also feel like I could say no. I'm from working class background as well, so turning down like fees and stuff like that, I would feel guilty about.
Especially fees that, like, in some situations is more than what most of your friends earn in a year.
Exactly.
In situations, right?
Exactly. But it hasn't got longevity doing that. And I was really struggling, and even seeing my partner, I wasn't able to see my partner very much, and it was just horrible, and I just really wasn't enjoying it. And the last 2 years, I've taken a step back and learned to say no to things, and learned that actually it's beneficial to pick the creme de la creme rather than spread yourself too thin. And it's kind of feels like a bit silly to say, like, because it is an amazing experience, but it is relentless. No sleep, playing and going to a country. I've been to so many countries, but have I seen them? I saw the airport. I saw the club, and I saw about 2 hours of my hotel room.
Went to a restaurant, maybe with the promoter. Yeah.
And then you're gone. So it is a little bit of a strange, kind of like otherworldly, almost like surreal experience, touring heavily like that.
But it's also the best experience.
Yes.
Right? It's like,
if you do it right, and if you give yourself some time and space. If you're doing it every single week and relentless, I think is too much. Maybe give you some time to let yourself stay there for a couple of days in the country after, It's
so weird, because it's like, I have the same conversations with everybody about it, and I'm sure you have the same with all your mates in the touring, and it's like, by the end of summer, everyone can do anything, and then we're weird human beings that, like, we take like a couple of weeks off, and we're like, oh my God, I don't know about you, but I'm like, oh my God, I'm literally like crawling the walls to get back on a plane to like play
to go somewhere else.
I took this month or October off, and like I'm horrible to be around.
Oh my God, what are you like?
I'm
Don't
like,
chat to me.
yeah, no, I'm just like, I just like so in my head.
Really?
Like, yeah. That it's like, my career's gone to shit. I've not toured for a month. Like,
I think I did have that, but I've kind of got out of it now.
how?
I don't know. I just feel like I'm still getting gigs. So like, you know, I'm just like, I did think that before. And I just so appreciate the time off. And I'm a busy bee. So like, I'm learning the bass guitar, writing a book, I'm writing a film. So if I'm not doing that, and if I'm off, I'm still going studio.
Yeah.
So I still feel like I'm
doing
stuff. So I couldn't just sit there for a month.
No.
Absolutely not.
No.
But I use that time to do other things and then enjoy touring again when I get back to it.
What's your like holidays? Are you good at holidays?
Darling, I'm very good at holidays. I'm brilliant at holidays. I love them.
So I'm telling you a story. My girlfriend is like, this sounds awful. But she's not like, I'm gonna say forcing.
Okay.
But she's not forcing me. Like
Sometimes you need to get forced.
Yeah, but
go on holiday.
We're going to Vietnam this month in a couple of weeks.
Love Vietnam.
Never been, but like 12 days off is like hell to me. Hell.
Lean into it, babes.
I know, and I think this is
go to the gym.
Yeah. Do you switch your phone off?
I will delete Instagram from my phone. I've even started doing that recently, just day to day. Just deleting it off there. And don't get me wrong, I'll probably download it back 3 times. But like, if I'm not on it, I delete it off there.
Yeah.
And stuff like that. And I think
that's healthy.
It's getting out of habits, really. Go to the gym and like get a couple of good books. Listen to some podcasts, and maybe some podcasts that might be interesting for you, like work orientated ish.
Yeah.
But so you still feel like you're not totally switching off, because you don't want to be sitting there not enjoying yourself. So you have to put some factors into that. You will still be able to enjoy your relaxation.
Yeah, I've got to do.
Yeah, but that's fine. So I'm on the beach, like writing a short story. I'm still doing things.
Yeah.
But it's kind of doing things for myself that I enjoy.
Have you always written?
Yeah, I did an English literature BA and a creative writing masters. So that was something that I've always kind of also wanted to do as well.
So when you say you're writing a book, is that like autobiography?
Well, I've written a book. So it's a semi-autobiography, and it's about...
What's a semi?
So it's based on true that have happened.
Okay, yeah.
It's based on true events that have happened to me, but the characters are kind of made up. So the main character is kind of based on me, and some of the things have happened, but it's in a fictionalized account. So the story is made up. But it's basically about two women that have their both different demons. One has kind of inner demons, you know, that voice in your head, and also kind of inherited addiction. And the other one is in an abusive relationship, and it's kind of like how their friendship, they kind of overcome these monsters that kind of aim to silence them in a way, and how kind of like friendship and platonic female love is just as important, if not more important, than, you know, romantic love, because it's kind of how you understand yourself. You see yourself through your friend's eyes, and at that kind of coming of age of cusp of womanhood, it's kind of looking at that basically.
Can we dig deeper into that?
Sure thing, girl. Let's go.
Demons in your head.
Yes.
Like, we all have them.
The voice.
Like, what is that voice, and how do you work through it, especially like where you're at in your life today?
For me, it's therapy. And, you know, it's kind of like I think a lot of people who have gone to therapy and who speak about this voice is like taking the power away from their voice and realizing, you know, it's just like a kind of, rather than a big old monster, it's actually just like a little child dressed up as a monster. And that has really taken the power away from it. And another thing that's really helped me recently is like I've been doing big periods of sobriety. So when I go out, I'm up for days. But when I'm not even having a drink. Yeah. And that's really helped with my spiraling. And I went out this weekend actually, and immediately Monday, Tuesday, I'm like, I'm not good enough. This is bad. What am I doing? I'm a joke. Everyone thinks I'm rubbish. I haven't succeeded what I should have done. I'm washed up. All these thoughts are coming into my head. But I know a lot of it is to do with me going out on the weekend. So I'm definitely learning to control that voice. But sometimes I feel like a puppet in skin, that, and the demon is living within me, and it's the voice is just on and on and on and on, and I'm just like doing what what the monster tells me to do. And that's kind of what the book, a big part of that book is about.
Is there like daily things that you do to kind of work through them?
Going to the gym has helped me massively, like, because I've got really quite severe ADHD, and I have the real sense of I always have to feel like I'm achieving something. Yeah. And if I don't have that sense of achievement, I feel like a failure immediately. Getting up and going to the gym in the morning, even if it's like, I don't even do it to get fit. Well, I do it to feel strong, but I do it it's just that endorphin hit in the morning. It just makes me feel like I've done something positive, and it sets me off on the right track. And that has really been life-changing for me, actually. Really.
Yeah, the gym is like, for me, I'm exactly the same with the gym. It's kind of a neutralizer where it's like,
that's an amazing way to put it.
There's never a time where you beat the gym.
Yeah.
The gym always beats me. Like, whether it's lifting more weights, whether it's running faster, whether it's that step machine. Like, it's
bloody step machine.
It's always gonna kick your ass no matter what.
Yeah.
And I think it's definitely a clearer. Do you like journal or anything?
I guess kind of like songwriting, and then doing my book. That's kind of journaling for me. And I'm kind of like trying to now work on a little series of short stories, not for any reason, but just for myself. And I guess for me, that is a form of journaling.
Yeah, no, I get that. I was on the train this morning coming up, and I kind of journal, but like very, it's not like regular at all.
Though, love it.
And I looked back, and it was November the 2nd, 2019 I started, and it's like we're like 6 years away from now.
Cool.
But it's like, it's actually amazing when you read back of like all the stuff you go through in life, right? And people you lost, people you found, like it's, do you think does your personal life ride with your career life? Like, in the ups and downs of your personal life, is there downs in your career? And if there's ups in your personal life, there's ups with your career?
I don't know. It's a hard one. I've had my personal life and my career quite entangled with a few different people across the time. And most of the time it hasn't worked out well, because I do really know if business and friendship can actually mix.
It's hard.
It is hard. And I haven't had good experiences from it, unfortunately. But on the other hand, what I will say is, when I've had there's been some periods with like stuff that are really dark times that I've had to do with my career, and my friends, especially the ones I've known, like my best friend, we've been best friends since 15, and I've had other friends who have been really good friends, who are friends from school, and they've always been there for me. So when I've been at my lowest with my career, I've felt like my true friends have really come around, and even people I've fallen out with, like, everybody's come round and really like supported me. So yeah, I don't know really. I think if you've got really good true friends around you, then they will always be there for you, even in the down days of the career. Does that make sense?
No, it does. It does. It's something that I was thinking this morning of like, if I read back on this, like over the 6 years, would whatever's going on in my personal life kind of replicate my career? And like, does it, like, there's definitely been moments in my life where I'm like, okay, that happened 2 years ago, and this is where I'm at now, and now it makes all complete sense, right? But I'd love to see like a study on it, because I'm sure
it's so interesting. Yeah, definitely.
And I think it could be the opposite, right? Like, when everything's going to in the personal life, all focus is on the career, and it's like gone.
Yeah, it's true. I feel like, I don't know, I've been in a really good long-term relationship, and I've got a really good solid group of friends. So I always feel like that has been my lifeline. No matter what's happening with my career, I've always got that strong thread of, and like, even with my mum and dad, very close with them. They're both mad as March hares, completely insane. But they love me, and I know that they're there for me. Like my dad, I could ring him and, like, I don't know, be in Norway, stuck in the road, and he'd probably come and get me. Do you know what I mean?
If you are looking to get into the music industry, whether that's as a producer, DJ, songwriter, or you just want to learn more about the craft, Point Blank Music School is the place to do it. They've got courses both online and in person, covering everything you need to know to level up your skills. They've even just launched a brand new 2- and 4-year degree program in music production and audio engineering at the LA campus. And for you lucky listeners of this podcast, you can get 20% off selected courses when you use the code word WillClarke20 at checkout. Hit the link in the description and use the code word WillClarke20 at checkout. Point Blank Music School. Power up your music career, people.
And it's things like that. And I think for me, that's why I've been able to say, despite having like a really seriously real high and then having some really messed up stuff happen, having that thread of love has been really concrete. That's held me together. Because I think if I didn't have those friends and that family connection, I could have really, I don't know, gone another way. But I always knew I had that support, and so I'm very blessed in that respect.
Love that. I did a bit of research.
Oh gosh.
But first release was Flame.
Flameos, yes.
2021.
Yeah.
So you weren't releasing music for that long.
That was the kind of first like label release. I had my own dub plate label that I was putting out my own.
That's still
going, Rosebud Records, a little bit more sporadic because there's so much else going on. So I had put out stuff before that on my own kind of terms, but that was one of the first kind of like proper label things with Dan Shake, wasn't it? And Cody. No, because there was Night Moves before that.
Night Moves wasn't on there.
Moves. So Moves was out on Toy Tonics, and that was one of the.
Toy Tonics is such a good.
Yeah, so that was one of the kind of first ones that I think kind of people were like, "Oh, who's this?" And that did quite well. I need to cut back up with Cody Curry actually. That was a cute little banger. So yeah, that was probably one of the first ones. And then Cody Curry, we did Flames. Yeah. On Dan Shake's label, who I love. He's an absolute babe.
And then literally 1 year later, it was Baddest Of Them All.
I know, like you know
what
what I mean.
Fuck?
I know, like how do you even fathom that?
We've got to talk about it.
Yeah.
When did it boot off? Like, was there a moment? Like, and what was that moment?
Glastonbury was the moment for me when I was like, whoa, because you just go every stage, you walk, like you just hear it all the time.
Were you playing there? Or
I'd played that year. Okay. I can't remember where I'd played that year, to be honest with you. But like,
I live near Glastonbury.
Oh, do you? Did you get free ticket?
No,
not quite close enough.
15 minutes away.
Oh,
we used to get like a postcode lottery.
Okay,
but we don't even get that now.
Yeah, Glastonbury was the moment that I really felt like, wow, because we just go to every as I said, every stage was playing it. Loads of people, and it was Shazammed so many times. And
how many times?
I don't know at Glastonbury, but I think that was like the very first like snowball, that actual snowball before it started rolling. And then the most like peak moment for me, obviously Ratchet as Hell Stone Circle, probably like 1 a.m. the next day on a Sunday, and somebody was just playing it on like a little speaker. And like then all my friends came over and we were all dancing to it, and like I kind of thought that it would do really well in the underground scene, and that would be it. Yeah. And even then I still kind of felt like it, but when I could see how many people loved it at Glastonbury, that's when I thought I kind of really realised that it was. I always call it the people's rhythm because it's soundtracked so many people's memories, and the summer where after COVID and everybody had come back and was out proper raving again. And I think when I realised what it meant to other people, that's when I really felt it was a special tune. Yeah,
it was a special moment. Like it was the first.
It was a perfect storm, I think.
Yeah, which we all need that for a hit record, 100%. Right? Like coming out of COVID, especially because America, a lot of where I tour is America, so America was open way before. Yeah. And so 2022 was like America was like, why is everyone celebrating so much in the UK? It's like, but it was kind of like the first biggest record. Yes. Right? Of after like that. Tune of the summer.
Yeah.
Right?
And I honestly don't know if that had come out 3 years before, if it would have done so well.
Probably wouldn't. And I don't mean that in a disrespectful way.
I don't think
it's just like you said.
It was the perfect storm.
Perfect storm.
And it was kind of like, I think, and also it was really accepted by the underground. And I think like a couple of years before, people would have been looking at it like maybe it was a little bit cheesy with the vocals. And I think people were up for that little bit more kind of sing-along vibe because everybody just wanted to be out and together. And I think yeah, as I said, if it had come out 4 or 5 years ago and there was a little bit more chin scratcher kind of vibe on the underground, people would have looked at it a bit sideways. So blessed, boy, because it come out at the perfect moment.
Well, I think that's the amazing thing with COVID. The electronic world would kind of skipped a generation. There was like a generation of people that just didn't know what a club was.
Yeah,
right?
yeah. It's crazy.
I remember playing Mint Fest.
Mint.
It was the first festival after COVID.
Wow.
And I was playing, and I looked out and I was like, none of these kids have been in a club. Like, they don't know how to be in this environment.
Yeah.
Because they're 18-year-olds.
Yeah, they missed it.
They missed it all. Like, they missed 2 years of like that. And I think that changed music. That changed the scene in a sense of, you don't have to be so serious.
Yes.
Like tempos got faster.
Yeah,
right?
yeah.
Like, it became a little more punk, where it was like, chuck this record out.
Yeah.
Right? Like, it was less like, oh no, you're like in techno and you have to have your techno record like that. Like, look at techno now. Techno's not even techno now. It's hard style.
Yeah,
right?
True.
And I think there's pros and cons in whichever way you want to look at it. But I think that having something like that was so catastrophic in the world really like lightened up music and gave it a purpose again.
Totally agree. Yeah. They became just about having fun, being uninhibited, you know, and just freedom, really. That sense of being locked away, and suddenly, you know, everybody was just like, right, let's absolutely have it and have a good time. And I think there is something really beautiful in that.
So what's that feeling when you wake up and you see your record doing what it was doing?
I just don't know. Like, I look back on that period and it was so amazing. I mean, it was such a strange time because I was broke as well at the time. When B.O.T.A went to #1, I had £16 in my account. I had to get my friend's mum had to borrow us money so we could go to the pub to celebrate because I was broke as hell. So she had to give us 50 quid so we could go down Bethnal Green. We got licked on sambucas and like did karaoke or something, like drunk as hell. It was hilarious. And like, do you know what I mean? So it was a very juxtaposing time because it was like having all this success, but I didn't really have any money. And so it was kind of playing catch up. And then, I mean, it was amazing. I think I appreciate it a lot more now on reflection. At the time, it just didn't seem real, to be honest with you. It was amazing, but I was just trying to keep up almost. I, as a person, was trying to keep up with the song. And I think I always felt like I was running after the song a little bit. So it was amazing, but I think now I'm really appreciate the opportunities that it's created for me. But yeah, it was an overwhelming time, but also like, I also kind of deep down was like, I knew I could do it. I kind of like, yes, thank God, because I was getting to the point where I was kind of thinking I'm going to quit music and become a teacher because I was like, it wasn't quite enough money for me, and like I do love teaching, and I probably, if it hadn't popped off when it did, I probably had one more year and I would have probably like gone into teaching.
It's always that. It's always the last year.
Yeah, right?
Like, always.
It's weird. It's kind of like whoever the higher power, they're like, all right, take that.
Yeah, you know, he's everything. Like, there's
my boy, I love him.
There's a classic resident advisor origins. I think it always called Between the Beats. I used to watch these series when I was younger, and his story was literally that. He was like, his wife was like, you've got a year. And it was like the month to the year, and then it happened.
Okay. Meant to be though, because like anyone who deserves it, he is an absolute diamond. Love him to bits. Shout out to Eats because he's just an absolute gentleman, bad boy, raver. And you can't say it better than that. He's just absolutely amazing.
I agree. So you say you're poor when you're going into this record, right? Like, when was it where you're like, I actually am earning money out of this? Because we all understand, like, records don't pay for a long time.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Gigs, although you're the hottest new thing right now, you still have to sell tickets, right? Yeah, for real. So for shows. So gig money is not massive all the time to start with. Like, what at that point are you like, okay, I'm in a comfortable position?
Yeah, I guess like getting the record deal towards B.O.T.A, that put a good bit of money into my account. Which is kind of mind blowing. for me at the time. I was like, oh my God, there's more than £2 in here. Wow. Not even £2. It was overdraft, actually. I was in the overdraft days. I never used to be able to get out of my overdraft. So yeah, that I guess was probably, and then the like good fees started coming in. You're like, whoa, okay, this is kind of crazy. Yeah, just to be honest, like just not being in my overdraft was insane to me.
Did you have management at the time?
I did have management at the time, and yeah, it wasn't. Yeah, I did have management at the time.
Found a new team.
Yes, exactly, exactly.
It's all good. I guess the one thing I want to go into is I've not been in that situation where you've been. I know how much pressure I put on myself.
Same.
Right? Like, what is that release after B.O.T.A? Like, what's even the like conversation in your head that you're having?
To be honest with you, I wanted to go a lot more left field.
Yeah.
And do something really weird. And I had this track called Take You There, which we did end up putting out. But I personally thought that should have been the next release. I did Better Love, which I do love, but I feel a little bit like I felt a bit forced, to be honest with you, to do something that they felt was more commercial, and I just don't think it resonated quite true, and it didn't do as well as they thought it would have. And I think that was a series of bad decisions, kind of from the team I was with at the time, trying to chase this other thing. And I just think we should have gone back to doing exactly what I was doing before, which was throwing at the wall and hoping for the best and doing weird stuff. Because in a way, B.O.T.A was actually, I know it seems commercial now, but it was unusual at the time.
It's only commercial because we've heard it so many times.
Exactly. But at the time, that's why it stood out, because it was kind of different to what was
out.
Yeah, out. The vocal was like a bit, and I think that I wanted to carry on doing that. And I did Take You Out afterwards, but it just was it just didn't hit as well, because it just, yeah. So it's hard, but that's why I feel much in a better place now, because I'm working on my album and I'm writing exactly what I want to write, and I'm leaning more into my artist side of things. Like, I want to be doing a lot of live shows next year, not just DJing. And like,
how does a live show look?
So I'm going to get a band, working on getting a band at the moment. I'm learning a bit of the bass.
Sick.
So yeah, it's coming together slowly but surely. But like on the album, you'll hear there's going to be some much more electronic. There's of course going to be electronic, but it's still going to be more left field electronic, not necessarily like so club orientated. And it's going to be with Sega Bodega. And then the other half of the album is someone called Zach Witness, amazing producer as well, who did all like Erica Badu's last album and worked on Doechie's Alter Ego.
She's like the modern day Missy Elliott.
Yeah, she's fabulous. She really is fabulous. But Zachy is like, he produced that, and he is just, I've never had such a musical connection with somebody. Like, it is the person I've been waiting to meet. And we just go in, and some of the best music I've ever written has been with him. And
how does that feel?
It's just beautiful. Do you know what? It's so fun and amazing and beautiful to meet somebody that you can just be your true self and you can try anything with. And that is what we do. We just go in there. Sometimes he's very spiritual, do a little meditation. We'll talk about what we want to write today. Or we'll just go in there and be silly and stupid and have a little giggle. And it's just so freeing, because we don't put any kind of like restraints or rules on ourselves.
Yeah.
We just create really good music because it's so free, and it truly is from the heart. And so that's really, really exciting. So I'm now operating in a place where I'm writing for myself, not writing for what other people expect of me or what I think other people expect of me.
Is that still through a label?
I'm working on getting a label soon. I haven't got a label yet.
That's mate.
So it's very like,
I did exactly the same last year.
Oh really?
Yeah. So
and you enjoyed it kind of like that?
I put an album out
fabulous
a year ago this weekend. And I gave myself a year to write.
Brilliant.
Beautiful. And just like with no label in mind.
Yes.
Like, and I think, well, even you more so, but like, there must be so many external pressures of like, oh, we need another one of those.
Exactly.
Right? And it's like, you can't make another one of those.
Exactly. But it's all of the external, but then there's the old voice here in there. There's like, come on, you got to do it again. You got to prove. And I know I've got more hits in me. I truly do believe that. But not when I got the pressure on me. And I've taken the pressure off myself now.
How do you do that?
I think time. time is a big thing, and just really trying to lean into being grateful for what I've got rather than being not happy with what I don't have. Oh, I've not written another hit. Oh, I've not maybe reached the levels that I thought I would have wanted to after B.O.T.A. And I used to beat myself up a lot about that and be annoyed of other people's that what I was working with at the time that maybe I feel didn't manage or deal with certain situations correctly. And now I'm just like, let me just take that away and think of what 15-year-old Eliza would be thinking of Eliza now. She would be gassed.
Yeah.
So happy. And so I try to really think about how would I see myself? And I would be so impressed with myself at 15. And so I try to kind of think of that and navigate with that in my head.
15-year-old Eliza, what would she say to you now?
She'd be like, right, boy, well done.
No,
honestly, I feel like, because I wasn't even things what another reason I stopped singing actually is because I used to get so nervous performing live. And I used to just not enjoy it. And now I love singing live. And I've just grown up and I've become much more secure with myself. And I think even just going on, doing the Mobos and stuff like that when I did sing at the Mobos. And now looking forward to singing on the stage.
It's scary.
It's scary. It's really revealing.
Especially when DJing came first, right?
Singing came first, but in
a live sense.
Yes.
So like us DJs, we just get put in a corner, especially when you started. Like you're just kind of put in a corner of a room and no one really cares about you.
Yeah.
You have to smash it, but no one cares about you. Yeah, right?
100%.
And then the EDM era came in and DJs became rock stars, right? But I did a live tour last year and it was electronic live tour, synths and everything like that. But the difference between going up there and having to perform is so much different to going up with your USB stick or even a bag of records and just being like, what?
Do you know what though? I do think now I've actually swapped around and I actually find DJing a little bit more scary because I feel like it's more exposing and you're kind of like everyone, because it's different, especially when you're doing in big ass warehouses and everyone's just staring at you. And when I'm singing, I can kind of create a bit of persona and caricature and I actually have to think about really every second what I'm doing next. And this is why I do love playing vinyl as well, because you have to be locked in 24/7. There's no standing like, is everyone having a good time? And that's something that I had to work on because I'm a people pleaser. And it's like, oh, there's 10,000 people in this room. You're actually not going to be able to please everyone, by the way. So I was used to be focusing on the one person that's not dancing, thinking, oh my God, I'm shit in my head. And that's another thing that I've had to kind of work on and be like, baby, just create your bubble and worry about yourself. And now that's another thing I've done is like, I now seek to impress myself rather than everybody else in the room. Because at least I know someone's coming away feeling happy and one is better than none. And then what's now happened is I'm now again, because after B.O.T.A, I feel like I a little bit lost my sound. Again, I was kind of I love speed garage, but I was going way far more down that road because I felt like that's what everyone was playing and that's what people expected of me. And I wasn't really being true to myself. And I had a year or two where I kind of fell out of love with DJing because I was trying to do what I thought people expected. This year, where I've not been touring so heavily, I've been able to take a step back, think about what is my actual sound and what do I want to represent. And I've fallen right back in love with it, which has been lovely, actually.
It's such a nice feeling when you have that realization.
Yeah.
I was talking to Chris Lake about this the other day, and he's like, it's really interesting now because now the kind of going back to what we were talking about with like the coming out of COVID, feels like the generations are just way more open to whatever you're playing and the DJs. And I don't know if that's because like your Fred Agains and all of that are just going out and releasing any type of music and it's just like being open and honest in whatever they want, the way they. But I feel like you can get away with playing 124 to like 140 in a set and
true.
People just go with it and it's definitely an interesting time to be an artist in that sense.
And it's good for me because I love all genres of music, literally across the spectrum from, you know, reggae to speed garage. I'm loving everything across. So, and I like to make all of it. So it's good for me that people are more open to sounds where I do think there's been times where it's like, you have to stay in your lane, your techno, your house, you know, and even like, again, playing too many vocals at one point was like frowned upon. And it's just ridiculous, really.
vocals.
Babes, I'm like, now I'm being honest with you, there's a vocal in every single song, but there was a time when I was like not doing it because I thought, oh God, people are going to think I'm naff. But it's like, especially where I've started singing, when I started singing again, I thought, well, I sing. Of course I'm going to have vocals. Just stop caring what people have think has really made a big difference. And I think like people are more open, as you said. I really do believe that.
Yeah, I think it's also we put it kind of seems to be like a common conversation in this conversation that we just put so much pressure on ourselves, and realistically no one gives a
nobody cares. That's another good thing. It's just like no one cares about you. I feel like it's actually so ego when you're like, oh my God, everybody in the room thinks I'm shit. It's like no one, they're just here to have mashup and have a good time. Like one bad mix, it's not gonna ruin your life. I've done thousands of bad mixes.
They didn't even know.
They don't care.
Like off their shit.
Exactly. And I think that's another thing, is just taking that ego out of being like, just being so obsessed and thinking you're not doing a good job is actually kind of not good for anybody, and it's just feeding into your own ego.
But also, how do you self-assess? Because I think we all also have to be realistic to ourselves, right? True. It's like, okay, I put this record out, I loved this record, but it didn't perform on the business side, and that's the really interesting situation of like artist and business. It's like they mix together. Like we all have records that don't perform well, but do you learn from that, or do you just be like, is what it is?
I don't know. It is hard. Like I've had records that have gone out that I think should have done better, or I would have thought would have been a much bigger deal, and they haven't performed as well as. And at the time, I'm like, oh. But I think what I'm kind of doing now is just focusing on what's next, rather than looking back on thinking, oh, that didn't go as well as it should have gone. That is kind of my new. I mean, when my album comes out, if no one likes it, I'm going to be pretty upset. But you know, in the same breath, I'm already thinking about the next album, and I think having that forward motion can help a little bit, because in the past is the past. There's no point of dwelling.
Well, there's also like, B.O.T is a classic example. You did nothing different.
Yeah.
Right? And it did what it did.
Yeah, exactly.
Like, there comes a point when it's completely out of your control.
Exactly. That's the thing. Exactly. And I think that's more what I'm about now, making sure I'm putting out music that is completely authentic, that I'm happy with, that like, you know, obviously you've got to play the game a little bit.
Yeah.
But like, I think making sure that I'm doing it for myself rather than trying to get money or trying to get more followers or trying to get more plays on Spotify. And then if it does well, it's the bonus.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
Yeah. What's it like working with Calvin?
Oh, he's just cute. He's so nice and normal. I thought he was going to be a right old diva when I met him. Like, but I met him and he's just like a normal, nice, lovely man. Like, I think he's just really sweet. Really sweet, really sweet, really sweet guy. Yeah, it was amazing. I mean, it was just a bit of a mind fuck, because I'm like, rude girl from Hackney, working with Calvin Harris, never in a million years would I think that would have been.
Especially the power that we saw Calvin happen over our whole childhood.
Exactly.
And like teenagehood.
And he's reached out to me on Instagram. I'm thinking, who's this fake account? Lucky I even replied because I thought it was fake. And then I clicked on it and then it was real. And I was like, oh my God. So yeah, I'm so proud of doing that because again, 15-year-old me would be like,
you serious? Yeah.
Are you serious, babes? So that was a real beautiful moment.
Has there been any other moments that are like pinch me moments that you're just like really proud of yourself?
The Mobos, that was really cool. Performing with Sonique and Sweet Female Attitude, two of my favourite artists growing up, especially like Sonique, absolute goddess, icon. Sweet Female Attitude, like again, another icon, but like used to batter that track when I was younger. Like that is like pinnacle
so
of like
good.
Oh,
yeah.
So like being on the stage with them for the first, and that was the first time I'd sung live in about 7 years. So awkward. I look back on the video. I'm so stiff. I'm so stiff. It's hilarious. I'm literally like, I don't mind. My leg is doing some madness. It's so funny. And like now I'm all much more free. But I was proud of myself for doing that. And it was a friend of mine who was like, right, I didn't want to do it. And I was like, there's no way I'm doing live. And she was like, you're doing it.
You're doing it.
And I appreciate that a lot because it was like, I was just so nervous to do that. So that was a real pinch me moment. Even the Brit nomination, crazy. Like they're saying my name, Adele. I think it was Harry Styles. I'm like, how am I up with these men?
Yeah.
So that was really a big. And to be honest, working on my album, because there was a time when I didn't even think that was going to be a possibility. I thought like some things that happened post B.O.T.A, I just thought I'm quitting music. Music is an evil industry, and I don't want to be part of it. And
is that down to management?
Down to label management staff, and just kind of realizing that it's a business and it's not always about, it's a business basically.
I really, yeah, I was at Warner in Amsterdam literally like this week.
Oh, wow.
I was talking to the head A&R there. I was just doing sessions.
Yeah.
And she was such a nice girl. And she was like, the one thing with the industry, with record labels, is that they're never honest to the artist.
Yes.
And every first meeting should be, and every other meeting at the end of every Zoom call or text message, guys, we are a business.
No, exactly.
If you're not making us money, we don't give a fuck about you.
Exactly.
We have shareholders, and if the shareholders aren't making money, then you're gone.
I just kind of lost a lot of trust for the industry and kind of people that I thought were my friends. Obviously, it's a business at the end of the day, and that's what it is. And so, it is. I now understand that, and actually, you can't even be mad at it because it's a business. That people are there to make money, and I now know that. And I think, you're going into it like, I'm making art, and everybody loves art as much as me. Yeah, like how dumb can you get? Like, and it's like that's just not the case, babes. Like, people are here. It's basically labels are basically banks or loan sharks in a sense. Like, no shade, labels, love you still. Please give me
please give me a massive advance.
Yeah, literally. But like at the end of the day, I think it's important to remember that. And again, something that I would really love to something that I'd like to set up is kind of having a bit more support from more working class people who don't have an understanding about money, who are always in their overdraft. Suddenly, maybe being a little bit more careful about these deals that they sign, maybe offering some free legal advice just for the first contract.
Yeah.
Because I signed a free album deal with no advance.
Yeah.
With my first label. It's not right. But it's bad. But I thought that was all right. And I'm in a company where people are like, no, it's fine. And I'm with people that are telling me it's all right, who I trust. Exactly. So,
dude, call me,
babes. But I didn't know.
And
I
was in a
bubble, smoke and mirrors bubble, and I didn't. And now I look back, I think you absolute fucking idiot. But I didn't know any better.
But turning that around, the learning in that for yourself and anybody watching this and anybody you speak to that you go into a room that's new or not.
Working class people, holler at me before you sign the contract, and I will help you out. And I'll point you in the direction of my lawyer, read the thing for free, and then go from there. Because I just think you just feel so grateful in those experiences. You're just like, oh my God, I just want to put my music out, and that's all you care about. And it can lead to bad situations, but it is what it is. It's a learning curve, and I'm on the other side of it now.
That's great.
Yeah.
Great. Wrap this up. I ask people a pretty average standard question, but it's great clickbait.
Yeah.
Life advice.
Ooh.
Like from what you've learned over the years, not just in music, in life. What's that one piece of advice you'd want to put out into the world right now?
Learn to say no to things that don't feel right, and trust your gut. I think. Beware, of course, question your gut, but really kind of like if it doesn't feel right, it often isn't. And I think things should be navigated a lot with that in mind. And sometimes you have to make the mistake to learn to get there. But that's a big thing for me. I really go with what feels right in my heart. And if it doesn't work out, at least I know it came from me. And it was my choice and I was in control rather than kind of being forced to do things. So yeah, I'd say trust your gut is one thing that I really go with these days.
Amazing.
Yeah.
Thanks so much for coming on. Loved it.
Thank you so much, my darling. That was a good old therapy session.
All right, wasn't it? All right. That was sick. Thank you.
No worries.
You right?
Yeah.
Good.
We good?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay, fab.
Let's get a photo.
Yeah.